Hello and welcome back to Exeter City, where things have continued with the bizarre trend of the home and away split. I'll get you caught up. Although in fairness, our home game was against Liverpool, and we did lose our first choice goalkeeper for that game, so it went predictably horribly. 5-0, 3 goals for Salah, who has to be about 33 now, and Mariba with 2 there, is indeed 33. But we followed that up with 2 wins in 3 days, both away from home, one against Fulham, one against Leicester. The Fulham one was a 3-0 lead. The 2 goals back did concern me, but thankfully the second of those was in the 91st minute. But I've still seen that happen, and they get the third, so happy to keep it a 3-2, and it's 3 points. But if I take away the actual away matches, then it kind of shows you the situation. These are our quote-unquote home games, which are effectively neutral venue. But even so, neutral venue, 2 points from 7 home games. So 2 points from 21 versus 18 from 24 away from home. What is going on? Why are we unbelievable away from home? I say that, we've won most of those by 1-goal margins. But still, we've also not lost away from home more than 2-0 either. So, and they're against top 6 teams too. Watford away first today, so I cut out the Carabao Cup there for that comparison. We have won 1 game at home, but that was against Sutton United. And 6 more points sees our total tally after 15 games at 20. We're halfway to the 40 already, and there's 4 more games to play in this half of the season. So it's looking promising. Again, we're 11 points clear of 18th, and we're 7 points behind 7th at this stage. I will just take this opportunity to get you caught up on a few admin things I couldn't fit into the transfer episodes. Number 1, the board just gave me more wages. Yeah, they just popped up in my inbox one day and said, we need to talk about club developments. Was not expecting it to be about wages. So, obviously I said yes. But we are going to be increasing our youth level again. We're going to be category 2 at the end of this year, and training facilities have turned up again, so that button's been pressed again. We have just finished completing our youth facilities recently as well, which means we're now 12, 14, 13 on junior coaching. Youth recruitment I can't do anything about, but I wonder if that just can then be boosted by way of being category 2. Hopefully that becomes a thing at some point. But the good news is I did acquire MTK, a Hungarian side, as an affiliate over the summer, but in exactly the same fashion I did with Brno. I had to do it via, can we do a scouting link please, so we can get some scouting knowledge? And then 4 or 5 months later, turn up and say, can we negotiate this to get youth players in, please? Still can't ask for those youth affiliate links off the bat, but I can do it this way. And it's weird and it's stupid, but we're there anyway. So links in the Czech Republic and links in Hungary, who are normally, obviously, not our best friends at the moment, but they have 20 youth recruitment. The good news, though, however, was that Sanchez was only out for that Liverpool game. Luis Perez and Arsby don't like each other. I don't know what's going on there. And Sangre and Markovic don't get on either in terms of playing together. But we'll try and persevere through this. Luis Perez missed one of those recent matches, and I did play Murillo alongside. Actually, basically in those 2 games, Arsby versus Liverpool put in a particularly woeful performance, so I popped in Murillo for a game, also a midweek game, so rotation was an option. And then Luis Perez got injured for the Leicester game, so I played him on the left-hand side as the ball-playing defender. He's come out of that one with a 7.1. I almost feel like I need to reward that. But we are missing Castillo, which realistically isn't that much of a loss, but Sanchez in goal, Martin, Murillo, Arsby, Ola Aina at right back, Sangre back in, he recently served a yellow card suspension as well, Markovic, Perkins, Mansley and Saunders, who's been okay since he's come back from his injury, and Johnson up front, who's also been pretty okay since I've restored him to the team. It should be said, the 2 goals that Fulham scored in the match against them were the only 2 shots on target they had. So, Watford newly promoted. Fulham, I think, have been here for a little bit longer now, breaking the trend of actual real-world Fulham. And as you saw, they're actually, I think, the position ahead of us in the table, or a couple of positions ahead of us in the table. So winning away at them was actually not a bad result at all in that respect. Obviously, it's a good result. It's 3 points. But Mansley is in and has floundered it, but Saunders makes up for his mistake. He's scored 2 in 2 games now? 2 in 3 games. It was Perkins who scored against Leicester. But yes, Saunders scored against Fulham. But Mansley in here. Takes too long, but Saunders finds the gap between the Watford defenders, and that is a goal for him. glad to see him get on the score sheet. If he can start getting some good performances in, get some good development in, I'm hoping for good things from Martin Saunders. Obviously, an Englishman. Be nice to have one of those in our side prominently. There is another one at a lower league team right now I've got my eye on, and we've got the funds for it. So yeah, if we can get as many good young English players in that have development space to hold on to, that would be nice. Just to have a nice core of English players in this side. Mansley's headed on to Gudjonsson there. That was excellent work from Mansley, and well, Gudjonsson's fluffed it, but Sangre's recycled. Markovic with an oddball, but Mansley will get to it. God knows what was going on there. Gudjonsson's back in the middle. He had a good game against Fulham, but I don't think he was on the score sheet. The goal, still the only shot on target. 40 minutes in, we're 1-0 up at Watford. Is this an encourage, considering we go into every game as the underdog? It really, really confuses me what I should be shouting on the sideline. We lost to Liverpool 5-0. The assistant's advice in the post-match press conference was, well done, you gave it your all. We lost 5-0. So half-time, 0.6 each. That is Rangers' Calvin Bassey. He was picked up for his good performances, wasn't he? In the Europa League for Rangers. He's being talked about this summer now. 25. Clearly FM had him as a competent player to develop into. Actually, minor side note as well. Aaron Martin's performances of late haven't been fantastic, so it has allowed me to play Thierry Small a little bit more. It's almost as if he heard me. Solly March playing for Watford, gets that ball in. Sangare heads clear. I think March will get there first, but it would have been nice to have a little bit more urgency from Martin Saunders there, as it does lead to a chance for Watford, but dealt with. I don't know, do I encourage now? Because we're in the 53rd minute and Arsby nearly scores, and we are 1-0 up. The longer this game goes on, the more likely I need to turn to a praise. I don't think it worked, but looks like we've got direct free kick. That really looked like it was going to be further out than that. Sonny Perkins has put these in before and nearly put that again. I mean, the rebound could have gone anywhere there. Perkins back again. What is going on? Can this highlight end, please? Because now I'm concerned Watford are going to score. Okay, it's ended. 67 minutes on the clock. We have now taken the advantage thanks to that good chance there on the XG. Olaran on a 6.4, but like I say, we are missing Sangare, so Castillo. I was looking at Sangare when I said that. Yeah, Gudjonsson on a 6.5. Let's get Kuzu on up front, I think. Maybe. So yeah, I don't really have a backup right back is the concern right now. Sangare just on a booking as well has me a little bit more concerned, but we'll progress the time a little bit more. 72 minutes, still no much further. I think what we can do here is bring on Mwepu for Sangare, who is booked, and just progress it so he actually gets on the pitch, so then I can maybe swap him with Markovic. I don't know which one is better in this regard. They're both kind of the same. Yeah, they're both kind of the same. Markovic is listed ahead of Mwepu on both of them, so not really worth changing. But I do still have a third sub. And with 72 minutes on the clock, this is an opportunity for someone to get their 15 minutes of development. So if we are looking for development purposes, Thierry Small and Hesham are on the bench. And actually, just looking at Baba Mansley, I think he might actually be the most tired player on this pitch. I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but I'm pretty certain his heart is the reddest of all. That actually doesn't help at all. So in the weirdest of rearrangements, Mwepu, who can play inside forward on the right-hand side, is going to do that. Martin Saunders will move to the left, Hesham comes on in the midfield, and Markovic moves backwards. What a shift in personnel that is. Ola Aina, who isn't doing short throw-ins. I don't know what's happened with our throw-in tactic, but for some reason we're not doing short throw-ins anymore. It has led to a couple of goals, though, oddly. Not directly from the throw-in, but from the carnage that follows. Aaron Martin, Markovic, Murillo, back to Aaron Martin. Moving it around quite nicely here. Ozan finds Mwepu, who probably feels a little bit lost where he is right now. Well, that's going to get hoofed up, and thankfully Arsby's in front of the defender and does get the header. Ola Aina, Arsby, where's this going now? Just sensibly back to the goalkeeper. Murillo, still in a 1-0 margin. Perkins finds Saunders. Saunders finds Ozan. Ozan's gone round the goalkeeper. That's a lovely goal from Ozan Kazoo. Lovely work from Ozan Kazoo there. That's what I want to see more of from our strikers. That attacking intelligence, which feels so lacking in this year's FM for whatever reason. But good first touch gets him the angle. And Martin Saunders, of course, the ultimate utility man up there, with his very strong both feet. But Ozan Kazoo, yeah, 15 first touch. Reflected there. It's interesting to see an attribute like that actually reflected in the game engine accurately. But at this point, I'm just not going to say anything and we're just going to let this game go out. Ola Aina will hopefully get the boost from the clean sheet here. 6.9 he ended on, so didn't leave that one disgracefully in the end. And I'm pretty certain both of Kuzu's goals have come from off the bench. Whenever he started, he's been terrible. And it's a 2-goal margin win as well, which we've only had twice this season. And in 3 away games on the bounce, we've come away with 9 points. We're ahead of Chelsea, but they haven't played. And we have to pay Sporting Gijon $2.5 million for the Baba Mansley deal. Like, I know that was only Watford, who were newly promoted this year, but Arsby on an 8.5, Mario on a 7.6. Arsby on a 7.3, Mario on a 7.1 against Leicester, who of course are a better team. And Mario on a 7.2 in that match. Lewin Perez did have a 7 in that, and then was injured for the Leicester game. It's awkward when 3 of them are performing. Perez has been a little bit off the pace before that. That's a shame. Mercenary too. Ah, yes. Wishful thinking. But he is available for money that I can afford. That confused me. Yeah, he is someone that we are getting in because regardless of whether or not he ends up being 4 or 5 star potential, he's costing me 200 grand. Not even that, but it's 200 grand if he plays games. But the Sanchez that's already here, Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper, 1 to 2 days, bruised shin, he'll be fine. Ooh, our youth intake preview. Excellent intake for us. An excellent intake that consists of 2 A sections. 1 goalkeeper, 2 forwards. Oh good, the one position we didn't need players in. Although, a homegrown striker and a homegrown goalkeeper as well. Both of those would be lovely. So it is now time for one of the 2 South Coast derbies for this season, where neither of those derbies are played on the South Coast because Bournemouth are still playing in Bristol. They don't move into their Bournemouth stadium, our original, until 2027. Our stadium news, no idea what's going on. It's disappeared from the 5-year plan as well. Sorry, I just saw that Sebastian Coates was sent off for Spurs. Is he not like 38 by now? So it's only 4-5 days after the previous game. Some players looking a little bit less green on there. In fact, in that respect, we will actually play Lewin Perez over Murillo this time round, despite this link. Sangarista Markovic has just changed to, positive. But Martin and Mansley enjoying life on the left, Perkins and Markovic, and Perkins and Sangari are forming a bond. Nice to see Sangarista Markovic change though, just to make that a 3-way. Phrasing. Krunic, back for 45 minutes, still not good enough for that one. Castillo right back. I think we stick with Ola Aina for now, and we bring on Castillo for his 15 minutes maybe later on. But same team, just that one change. Lewin Perez in for Murillo, who appeared to be the most tired of all of them. If Moepi was at full fitness, I probably would have put him in ahead of Markovic, but for the same reasoning. But otherwise, I think we have to leave it like this. But this is a home game. Getting some inspired and motivated team talks as well at this stage. And welcome to the reason why I've never brought you the Bournemouth game before this. I've mentioned it, but now you get to see it in action. Because Bournemouth's kit is classed as black, first and foremost, rather than red. Oh, Arsby scored. That's a good goal. Yeah, good luck working out who's who. Our kit is classed as red, though. Mansley, Good Johnson. Is that the crossbar or is it Safanov save? Either way, Arsby scored. I don't think it had an assist. The weird thing is, despite the fact that Bournemouth on the scores at the top has a black bar next to it to indicate which is the primary colour, the XG has them both as red. That's unfortunate. Is that counting? I don't think this is counting, even though it looks to be possibly actually an own goal. I want to see this again. Well, I mean, if that's the situation, oh no, Perez does Perez is the one to tap it in there, but yeah, the XG has both of them as red, but the score bar has them as black, and the action zone has them as black as well, and the average positions has them black and red. So I don't know why the XG differs from the other 3, but that's why. So note to self, when doing Bournemouth kits in the future, make sure they're more black than red. Saunders is in. That's poor from the goalkeeper, but it's even poorer from Saunders. And they've not had a shot on target. Jeremy Bourgat has been injured for them. Player that we've had in the past, but one shoot. How has he developed in this save? 30 to 36 million is his worth. He's very well rounded, and we have historic love for this man. I mean, if they go down, it's annoying that the only sentence that has "I have faith in you" starts with "You weren't that bad." I would love for next year's game to have a sentence that is, "You've played well, but I have faith that you continue that," for instance. Or "I have faith that you can do even better." Knowing that the only one that kind of gets the response is that faith one, and it premeditates you saying, "You've been bad, but not that bad." Okay, well, Aina hasn't been fantastic, so I might as well get Castillo on now. And Markovic was the most tired to begin with, so you know what? At this point, we'll get Hesham on now. He's not good in the box-to-box as such, but now that he's on the pitch, we can swap him over. It is worth saying, actually, Perkins scored from the box-to-box recently. in this formation when I had to rotate the midfield a bit because of tiredness. But Johnson really needs to score soon. We've missed the window, really, for players, but Saunders versus Perkins for the third substitution. I think in the interest of preserving Perkins as much as possible and everyone there, even though probably Saunders and Mantley are more tired. But Bournemouth haven't done anything this entire game. Two shots that happened very early on, and that was it. Oh, no, actually, tell a lie, one of them was clearly here at around the 40-minute mark, but still, they did literally nothing in the second half at all. But 10 shots on target. Safanov's had a blinder of a game. And considering the goal we scored came from what looked to be a save from him in the first place, very high-passing match, seemingly. And finally, 3 points from a home game. And of course it comes from a game where the other team don't play at home either. But it's happened in our version, so I'll take that, actually. Oh no, we need people to play games here, because we've played 17 games and Everton in 7th have played 15. I mean, Watford didn't help themselves, but good God. I should say, the week that we lost 5-0 to Liverpool at home, Fulham lost 7-0 to Manchester City. It wasn't even the worst result of that week. But yeah, Coates has been sent off in the first minute for Spurs. How old is he? He's only 35. I think it's the fact he's just so slow at the beginning of the game. I think he's older than he is. A lot of sendings off, actually, this week. But that does take us 17 points clear of 18th as things stand. I'm not looking at the fact we're 1 point off 7th. I'm not looking at that fact. Because Everton will play games and they will pull away from us. The fact that Marcelino was at Watford to begin with was baffling. I mean, that's got to be gutting. Arsby, with 99 passes completed and 99% accuracy, which means he had one that didn't. One. And 100% headers as well is remarkable. Scott Parker, by the way, somehow still manager of Bournemouth 5 years in. In a particularly trigger-happy football manager, the fact that Scott Parker survived 5 years, 4 years, 4 and a bit years, but they were the champions of the season that we got promoted in from the Championship, and they survived last year, so just surprised he survived 2 years of the Championship, or 3 years of the Championship before that. Alright, this has now got more difficult because I was fully expecting to lose that home game, which of course would have meant we were more adrift of Europe than we actually are now. I mean, the intention beforehand was to bring you back after the January window to see where we are then, because if we're sort of in a nothing space after January, then there's no real reason to bring you back at any point after that until the end of the season. When do they play those games? Oh, okay, well, they play one of them next. Wolves beat Leicester 7-2. I mean, I know who's last on match of the day. Baba Mansley is the furthest runner in the Premier League, apparently. Oh, it's Manchester City versus Everton, so one of those games in hand is not going to be pleasant for them. No, more pleasant than it probably would have been. So the 70 for Wolves actually puts them into 5th. We played one game more than basically everyone. We either played Watford or Brentford ahead of schedule. It's a while till those extra games are played as well. They don't happen until January. I think it's for teams in Europe, because West Ham, I think, got it. Arsenal, Man U, Spurs. And then there's also a batch of games on Wednesday the 17th of December involving City, Chelsea. Fulham Burnley confuses me though. But they appear to be like the only batches of games where we don't play alongside them, so I'm guessing that's like the 2 sets of catch-up games. So it's going to be a while until we find out what happens, particularly with Everton. Honestly, I think Newcastle and Burnley on the opposite side of the January transfer window makes the most amount of sense because we'll have a much better idea of how our season's looking at that stage. There's a Newcastle away game, there's a Man United home game, Chelsea home game, Arsenal home game. There's also a Bradford/Cambridge FA Cup match, which, sure. Everton away and West Ham away are not easy fixtures either, of course. So it's a particularly tough run of fixtures between now and then. So there's a good chance that this run of 4 wins, fantastic, is basically entirely undone by that point. And we're sort of back in no man's land. So provided we're sort of back in no man's land, Newcastle and Burnley there makes sense, and then probably won't need to bring you back again for the rest of that season. But 6 points from 6, we'll take that, and the first home victory of the season. Finally bringing the points tally for the home games up to 5. We're 21 points away from home. 5 at home is, well, it's something, isn't it, really? How are you enjoying this season? Are you as baffled as I am? Like, I understand that we're not winning home games the way that we would normally be winning home games. Like, that makes sense. But the fact that we're winning away games, oh well, I'll work it out maybe one day. But until then, thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Ta-ra.